Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this video, you are probably aware of how the Wonder Tales song pack released earlier this week. They added 3 new songs that are interwoven into one story, which I will go over later in the video. Before I get into that, it would be amazing if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you are watching this before June 5th, I am trying to do a video on reacting to your Just Dance and popular opinion videos, and I would at least by June 5th. It's in my community tab, so go drop some opinions. And now, let's get to the video. The theme for this one is somewhat similar to the Fiesta Latina pack, with all of the songs being in the same danceverse and storyline. Anyway, I do think the danceverse aesthetic is better in that pack, but the story is better here. The storyline is much tighter and is more interesting here. I was expecting more magical backgrounds and concepts when it was announced. The only song in my opinion that pulled the magical aspect of the Melosia realms best was definitely Folded. I was fine with this for the new songs, but there were more magical legacy maps put into the pack. I'll get to my thoughts on the selection of legacy maps in that section, but overall, the theme and its execution gets a 7 out of 10. I love this coach so much. She is gorgeous and I love her aesthetic. The color scheme also adds to it. The blues and yellows look great. The water physics look very weird, especially when it disappears and reappears. Anyway, the background is pretty. I like the temple. The colors look really good and it looks realistic, which I liked. I was shocked when it turned into the human background. It made me notice the snakes wrapping around pillars in humans' background. The choreography was surprisingly hard but was good. I noticed this in Human are hard with chill efforts, which I'm assuming is why this is hard. Anyway, I don't have any standout moves. Anyway, something I like to say is why has everyone who I have seen react to this map doesn't know this song. I thought it was popular, but I love it. I will be giving Folded an 8 out of 10, and if I'm doing it like I did in my first thoughts on Just Dance 2026, this would definitely go in the perfect category.
Cause it feels so mystical, magical.
This section might be a bit controversial, but the coach looks worse than Sail. He looks very cartoony, and I'm assuming he is meant to look more like Jump in the Line, as this is in between those 2 maps, but I don't love it. This background is very cartoony. I get the concept as it's a recreation of the story, I'm guessing. I love the lighting in the second pre-chorus. It is so good and it's the only lighting switch up in the map which it needed. This choreography is kind of bad and clunky. It is confusing and is done pretty weirdly in my opinion. I hated the interactions with the background, which was pretty much the whole thing. I gave Mystical Magical a 5 out of 10 and I'll put it in the OK section.
These machines will kiss my bullets. Hit the gas pedal, scrap metal, get to running. Combat mode, you know the cyborgs coming.
2 hard choreographies in this pack. Wow. Anyway, I liked the chorus. It was challenging, but I somewhat got it down by the second try. However, the verses were just fine and I liked it when they were magical on the floor. I like the coaches. I miss being able to play this map without having to switch games so bad, so this gave me some hope. Anyway, they were much better in the original and it reminds me of the reworks in Pink Venom with them being downgrades. The background was my least favorite part. It looked best in the purple variant, especially at the end. Speaking of, I wish they had a video instead of a PNG of Folded Coach. It cheapens it in my opinion. Anyway, World Eater gets a 7 out of 10 and lands in the super category. This selection of tracks was decent, but I have some issues. First, I'll share quick thoughts on each map. I don't remember if Adeo was one I loved or hated this one during the JDU days. I'm happy for a new addition to Plus. I like the coach and the background is cute. It is a little flat, but it's okay because it's pretty. Lastly, the choreography is nothing super special. I like it in the verses, but not really in the chorus. Human was never one of my favorites. I actually don't think I really liked it and probably found the choreography weird. However, this pack has gave me a new appreciation for this map. I find it cool. I hadn't played it in years before this. Lastly, Euphoria is a pretty good map, but it's where my issue comes from. The coach is good, and I would like the background more if it wasn't a stage, but it was supposed to be like that. The choreography is good and I like it more without the staff. I remember I used to use my dad's back scratcher as the staff when it came out. Now I use nothing. My issue with this selection is the same I had with Provenza in the Fiesta Latina pack. Why? Because it was already in a season and had its moment there. And also, I would rather have another song on Plus or a song that was on JDU in its place. Other than that, the legacy song selection is decent. I get Human's inclusion. I'm fine with the Deos, but I would just replace Euphoria. If you would like to know what I'd replace it with, watch my prediction video for this pack. Overall, I believe this pack was pretty good. If I had to rank it against the other packs, this is definitely better than the fitness pack, and I'm not sure if I like this one or Fiesta better. My overall rating of the pack is an 8 out of 10. Here is my ranking of every map from Wonder Tales. And here are all of these maps ranked with the other new Plus maps. Go check out the shorts with my thoughts on each one. I do think we will have another pack as there are 3 months and 3 songs left in the schedule. I think instead of having one every month, there will be a pack in the middle. Last summer, they didn't have a lot of content, so they put the only song in the middle of summer, and I think it will happen again. And thank you for watching. There are 2 videos on screen for you to watch, so go check out one or both. Don't forget to drop your unpopular opinion on my community tab and bye.